Have you ever felt that you shouldn't say certain things? I once told someone I trusted my deepest dreams. At first, it made me feel free, like a weight had been taken off my shoulders. But quickly, I saw something odd. Things that used to be easy for me got harder, problems appeared out of nowhere, and that person seemed to change how they felt about me. I learned a vital lesson: only some things are meant to be shared. It seemed like the world was telling me to keep some things sacred the more I told people about my plans. This video will show 3 essential parts of your life that you should never tell anyone else. Understanding these could change everything for you. Could you stick with me until the end? The ideas you'll learn could help you find the real power of your spiritual journey. People have known for a long time that silence is an integral part of the spiritual path. But why is it so important to be quiet? To cut a long story short, silence helps us connect with God more deeply. When we speak less, we listen more to our gut, the whispers of angels, and the small messages the world sends us all the time. For many faith groups, being quiet is a good thing. A phrase in the Bible says you can only hear God's still, small voice when you are alone and thinking. In the same way, many spiritual leaders tell us that it's essential to keep some parts of our lives private. This isn't about keeping things secret, it's about keeping our spiritual practices and goals holy. When we talk about our hopes, dreams, or even problems, we often send out the energy that makes those things happen. It's like laying a seed and then digging it up all the time to show other people. How can it grow if it's constantly being moved? This is where silence helps. When we keep some things to ourselves, we let them grow, develop, and manifest without outside forces getting in the way. It's a way to protect our spiritual selves and ensure our goals stay pure. But being quiet isn't just about keeping things to ourselves, it's also about making a holy place inside. This place inside us is where we can connect with God, angels, and the universe and hear their words without being interrupted. In the Bible, there are many examples of silence being very important to God's plans. For example, think about the story of Jesus in the desert. Jesus spent 40 days alone and in silence before he started his public ministry. He did this to get ready for the trip ahead. This time of silence wasn't just a time to fast physically, but also to grow spiritually. Angels often talk to us when there is no sound around. It's usually feelings, intuitions, or light nudges that are their small but clear messages that lead you in the right way. It's easy to miss these divine signs when our lives are full of noise, both inside and outside of us. The world also uses a language of silence. Natural rhythms, the quiet before a storm, and the stillness of a calm night are signs of significant changes often happening in silence. Being still and quiet helps us connect with these natural rhythms and receive the guidance the world always gives us. When we keep our goals secret, we give them the room to come true. It's easy to forget this idea since sharing everything about our lives has become routine. But when it comes to spiritual matters, sharing too much can stop the creation process. There is energy in every thought, word, and deed. We spread that energy around when we tell other people about our plans. This doesn't mean we shouldn't ever ask for help or share our thoughts, but we should be careful about what and who we share them with. When discussing something, good and evil outside energies are drawn into that place. This can lead to doubt, fear, and misunderstanding, which can prevent manifestation. Your plans are like seeds placed in the universe's rich soil. People can wait to share them because they need time to grow strong roots and spread. Because of this, keeping your divine plans secret is very important, especially when they are first thought of. They can affect them when you inform others about your plans too soon. Not everyone will see things like you do or agree with your goals. Some people may even put their doubts, fears, or negativity onto your plans without meaning, making you less determined and stopping the manifestation process. Think about how fragile a sprout is. It needs to be in a safe place to grow. In the same way, your divine plans need a safe place to grow where they won't be interrupted. Talking about your plans with others makes them more likely to be harmed. Sometimes, even help from family and friends that means well can cause doubt and confusion. Throughout history, there have been many cases of religious leaders who kept God's plans secret until the right time. For example, Joseph had dreams that told him he would be very successful in the future. But they were angry and jealous when he told his brothers about these dreams. While Joseph was going through many hard times, his dreams didn't come true until a long time later. In the same way, Jesus often used stories called parables to teach profound spiritual lessons in a way that only those looking could understand. He knew how important time and wisdom were, so he slowly told people about his plans only when they were ready. How can you keep your holy plans safe? First, think about who you share them with. Listen to your gut. If something tells you to keep some plans to yourself, do what you feel. Also, being innovative and knowing that only some people need to know everything about you can help. Writing down your ideas in a journal and keeping them close to your heart until it's time to act might help them stay with you longer. Praying and meditating can also help you get clear, which can help you decide when and with whom to share your plans. Protecting your divine plans lets them grow strong without any outside factors getting in the way. Remember that not all plans and thoughts should be shared. Some things are meant to stay between you and God and happen at their own pace. Your spiritual practices are very personal to you. They are the unique way you connect with God through prayer, meditation, routines, or some other way that feels right to you. You should take these practices as holy because they are. If you let other people know about your spiritual routines, you might weaken their power. Spiritual routines are personal. What works for you might not work for someone else, and the other way around. When you share your practices, people may need to fully understand or value them, which can weaken the spiritual energy you've built up. There's also the chance of being judged or criticized. Some people might not understand the importance of your routines, which could lead to doubt or even ridicule. At the beginning of your spiritual journey, this can be very harmful because it can make you question your views and ways of doing things. From a spiritual point of view, everything you do has power. Your practices, mainly, are filled with energy, which links you to God. When you share these practices, you open yourself to outside energies that can mess up this link. For instance, if you found that meditation brings you peace and focus, telling other people about it might get their energies into your practice. These forces may be aligned goals, making the task harder or more difficult. It's best to keep your routine secret to protect your energy. You can still talk about faith or share broad ideas with others, but the details of your rituals, prayers, or meditations should be kept private. Angels often stress the importance of being alone when doing spiritual things. They know your relationship with God is unique and personal, and they want you to respect that by keeping some parts of your spiritual life secret. Most of the time, angels send messages quietly, like through intuition, feelings, or signs. If you talk about your spiritual practices with other people, these messages may need to be clarified, making it harder to understand the advice you're getting. You can stay in touch with the divine and receive angelic messages quickly if you keep your routine secret. To keep your spiritual routines holy, you should make a special place to do your rituals without being disturbed. You could have a meditation room, an altar, or a place in your mind where you set aside time every day to connect with the divine without any other thoughts or feelings getting in the way. You should also pay attention to your gut. If you feel called to keep some activities secret, do what you think is right. Do what the divine and your angels tell you to do because they want what's best for your spiritual path. Remember that your spiritual routines are a holy way to connect with God. Keeping that link a secret will make it safer and more vital. On our spiritual path, we all face problems, like when we question, are afraid, or don't understand. As you grow and change, these inner battles are a part of it, but they are also very personal and should be handled with care. If you tell others about your inner battles, you might let them see how weak you are. It's normal to want help when things are hard, but you should be careful about who you tell your secrets to. Some people might not understand your problems and might even use them against you, whether they mean to or not. Your inner battles are chances to learn and grow. The divine has placed these challenges in your way to help you become stronger and more resilient. If you keep your problems to yourself, you can work through them without anyone else getting in the way. The Bible emphasizes the importance of turning to God when things are difficult. Psalm 55 verse 22 says, "Throw your cares on the Lord, and He will take care of you." While it's okay to ask for help from others, our real power comes from God. When you keep your problems to yourself, you allow God to step in and help you. God can do more if you depend on Him instead of looking to others for approval or help. This doesn't mean you shouldn't get help when needed, but your faith should be the first thing that helps you. Testimonies from real people have power. Many people have had significant changes in their lives after they decided to keep their problems between themselves and God. Doing this helped them hear God's words better and get the direction they needed to overcome their problems. One of these stories is about a woman whose marriage was having a hard time. She didn't tell her family and friends about her problems. Instead, she prayed and asked God to help her. Over time, she felt a deep peace and insight that helped her overcome her problems and make her marriage more robust. If something is making you feel bad, talk to God about it first. Before telling other people about your problems, meditate and ask God to help you. Believe that God will help you, whether from a quiet knowing inside you or a word from your angels. When you decide to tell someone something, be careful who you mean. Pick someone who is emotionally mature, will support you without judging you, and will understand that you need space to be alone. In a world where we're told to tell everyone about our lives on social media and in person, it can be hard to understand how powerful silence can be. But silence isn't just the lack of noise, it's also a solid spiritual tool that can help you connect with God more deeply, keep your energy safe, and stay true to your spiritual self. When you are quiet, you can hear the still, small voice of God and your angels. If you talk, share, or even think out loud all the time, you might miss the subtle signs that people are trying to send you. Being quiet gives you time to hear these lessons, think about them, and work them into your life. Also, being quiet saves your energy. You let go of energy every time you talk or share something personal. If the conditions are right, this could be a good trade. Sharing with the wrong person or in the wrong setting, on the other hand, can drain you and make you feel weak. Several places in the Bible discuss the power of silence. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 7 tells us there's a time to keep silence and speak. Knowing when to be quiet can help you navigate your spiritual journey with grace and strength. When you are alone in silence, you can connect deeply and personally with God. Through this deep connection, you can learn more about your purpose, path, and the messages the world sends you. When you practice silence, you keep your energy from being drained by outside forces. You can stay grounded and focused no matter your problems, which helps you keep your spiritual strength. Being still sharpens your spiritual awareness. Being away from constant noise helps you tune into the subtle forces around you, hear your guardian angels, and follow the Holy Spirit's lead. Set aside time every day to meditate in silence. It could be as easy as sitting still and focusing on your breath for 5 minutes in the morning. This will allow you to receive divine direction. You should go on a silent vacation where you can be alone with your thoughts for a long time without any noise or other distractions. These retreats are excellent opportunities to connect with God and your inner self. During the day, take some time to be mindfully quiet on your way to work, while cooking, or even while you're out for a walk. In these moments, calm down, listen, and connect with God. When you practice silence, you make a holy space inside yourself to talk to God, get advice, and keep your spiritual energy safe. Remember that you don't have to share everything. Sometimes, the most potent spiritual work takes place when you're alone. Discretion is a moral practice that means being thoughtful and careful about what you share with other people. It means that you don't have to share every thought, plan, or experience with everyone, and that there's a lot of power in keeping some things to yourself. Spiritual growth is closely linked to discretion. You understand it as unique and special as you go along your spiritual path. It may be tempting to tell others about your experiences, especially when you're excited about something new that you've learned, but it's best to keep it to yourself. When you use discretion, you keep others from getting in the way of your spiritual journey. Giving yourself time and space to think about your experiences and lessons helps you decide what, if anything, you should share with others. The Bible tells us to be careful about what we say and do. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you, says Proverbs 2 verse 11. This verse shows how discretion can protect you. If you choose your words and actions carefully, you protect yourself from harm and mistakes. Many spiritual leaders and saints have been discreet throughout history because they knew that not every spiritual experience should be shared. For example, Luke 2 verse 19 says the Virgin Mary kept all these things and thought about them in her heart. She knew how important it was to keep some spiritual discoveries to herself so they could happen at their own pace. Take a moment to think about what you want to say before you do. Before you share this information, ask yourself if it will be best for you and others. If not, keep it to yourself. Only some people should know everything about your spiritual path. Be careful about who you share with, and consider whether that person is spiritually mature enough to understand and value what you're going through. Being discreet helps you protect your psychic energy. When you decide to keep some things private, you can save your energy for your relationship with God and your spiritual growth. By being discreet, you show respect for the holy nature of your spiritual journey. You make a safe place for yourself to grow and let your experiences happen naturally, without any outside thoughts or forces affecting them. To stay spiritually pure, remember that knowledge, discretion, and silence are vital tools for connecting with God more deeply, keeping your energy safe, and staying true to your spiritual path. Remember that you are on a holy road and that not everything is meant to be shared. When you keep some things to yourself, you allow God to step in and do the best work in your life. Believe that God is leading you and that your guardian angels are always with you, loving and protecting you. Your guardian angels want you to understand how powerful silence and privacy can be. They want you to know that keeping some things to yourself is okay, which will protect your spiritual journey. Trust your gut, listen to what they say, and know you are always backed. When you open yourself to God's wisdom, understand your spiritual path is unique. Please keep it safe, respect it, and let it happen when it's time. Trust that the divine is taking you exactly where you need to go, and know that by keeping some things to yourself, you are making the best possible things happen.